What if everything you were taught about being a good person came with a hidden price? What if honesty, humility, patience, obedience, and self sacrifice were not only moral virtues, but also behavioral instructions? Instructions designed to make you predictable, manageable, safe, not for your benefit, for someone else's. Most people instinctively resist this idea because we want to believe that morality exists above power, that good is good, that right is right, that the rules apply equally to everyone. But look carefully at the world around you. Do they? Why is ambition admired in the successful but criticized in the struggling? Why is ruthlessness called leadership when it comes from the powerful, but toxicity when it comes from the weak? Why are some people allowed to demand respect while others are told to earn it forever? The answer is uncomfortable, because morality is not only a set of principles, it is also one of the oldest technologies of control ever invented. From childhood, you are taught the same script: be patient, be grateful, don't complain, don't be selfish, don't be angry, don't challenge authority, don't make trouble. And eventually, something strange happens. You stop needing guards, you stop needing chains, you begin policing yourself, you silence your own anger, you suppress your own ambition, you ignore your own instincts, you become your own prison guard. And the most frightening part? You call it virtue. History reveals the same pattern over and over again. Power rarely survives through force alone. Force creates resistance, fear creates rebellion, but guilt creates obedience. A person who fears punishment may eventually fight back. A person who feels morally wrong for resisting often never fights back at all. That is the genius of moral control. It doesn't need walls. It lives inside your head. You start questioning yourself before questioning those who benefit from your obedience. You feel guilty for wanting more, guilty for saying no, guilty for defending your interests, guilty for refusing exploitation. And somewhere along the way, self-respect begins to feel like selfishness. This is where the game becomes dangerous, because the people who preach morality most loudly are not always the people who follow it most faithfully. Watch closely. When morality helps maintain their position, they celebrate it. When morality limits their ambitions, they suddenly become pragmatic. The rules become flexible, the principles become negotiable, the exceptions appear. And somehow those exceptions always seem to favor the people already holding power. The weak are expected to be forgiving. The powerful are allowed to be strategic. The weak must remain humble. The powerful are encouraged to be confident. The weak are told to control their anger. The powerful are praised for being decisive. The behavior often remains the same, only the interpretation changes, and interpretation follows power. This is why the same action receives completely different labels depending on who performs it. When a successful person protects their interests, they have strong boundaries. When an unsuccessful person does the same thing, they are difficult. When a powerful person manipulates perception, they understand politics. When a powerless person does it, they are dishonest. When the strong demand more, they know their worth. When the weak demand more, they are ungrateful. The world frequently judges status first and behavior second, and once you see it, you start noticing it everywhere. In relationships, in workplaces, in families, in institutions. A controlling partner doesn't always use threats. Sometimes they use guilt. After everything I've done for you, you owe me. You should be grateful. A manipulative employer doesn't always use force. Sometimes they use loyalty. We're a family here. Don't let the team down. We all need to make sacrifices. The language sounds noble. The outcome remains the same. Your interests become secondary. Their interests become moral obligations. And this is why some of the most dangerous people rarely look dangerous. They don't appear as villains. They appear as guardians of virtue, guardians of order, guardians of maturity, guardians of what's right. They speak calmly. They sound reasonable. They use the language of values while quietly building systems that benefit from your compliance. But there is a trap hidden inside this realization. Many people discover hypocrisy and immediately become cynical. They conclude that morality itself is fake, that principles are weakness, that conscience is for fools, that power is all that matters, and that is where they make their biggest mistake. Because abandoning your conscience does not make you free. It simply turns you into the next person who abuses it. Real strength is something much rarer. It is the ability to keep your principles without allowing them to be weaponized against you.
To remain kind without becoming prey. To remain honest without becoming naive. To remain compassionate without becoming exploitable. To remain moral without becoming obedient. That requires something most people never develop. The ability to tolerate being disliked. The ability to disappoint people. The ability to say no without explaining yourself for an hour. The ability to defend your interests without feeling guilty for existing. The ability to recognize that not every accusation deserves a defense, and not every demand deserves compliance, because there comes a moment in every person's life when they must decide, will their conscience belong to them, or will it belong to whoever knows how to manipulate it? That is the real battle, not between good and evil, not between morality and immorality, but between an inner compass and external control. Because the moment your conscience stops serving your own convictions and starts serving someone else's comfort, power, or agenda, it is no longer guiding you. It is controlling you. And what feels like virtue may simply be the most sophisticated chain ever placed around your neck.